Hello students, let's continue with our chapter 2 Methods of Inquiry in Psychology. To this video, I will be taking up two topics, limitations of psychological inquiry and ethical issues in psychological research. Let's start with limitations of psychological inquiry. We have already discussed how psychologists use different methods to gather data, analyze data, and draw conclusions. But psychologists they face some general problems while doing psychological measurements, and three of them are very common, and they are lack of true zero point, relative nature of psychological tools, and subjective interpretation of qualitative data. Let's take one by one. The first one is lack of true zero point. When we study psychological constructs like intelligence, aptitude, interest, values, we face a common problem. There is nothing like zero intelligence or zero values or zero interest or zero aptitude. So cannot say such things about person. All of us have some degree of intelligence, and psychological measurements they do not have a true zero point. But in physical sciences, measurements start from zero. So what psychologists do is that they decide arbitrarily a point as zero point and then proceed further. And so whatever scores we get in psychological studies, they are not absolute in nature, but they have a relative value. The next problem faced by psychologists is that of relative nature of psychological tools. It simply means that tools that are made for a particular context may not suit for others. Like a test that is developed for urban students may not be of much use with children living in tribal areas. Like the tests that were developed in Western countries, they may or may not be applicable in Indian context. So they need to be properly modified and adapted, keeping in the context in which they are to be used. The third problem faced by psychologists in psychological measurement is that of subjective interpretation of qualitative data. Qualitative data are largely subjective, so the interpretations may vary from person to person. In qualitative studies, if there is more than one investigator, then they can discuss their viewpoints and important points. That will help them to arrive at an agreement before finally giving it a meaning. Second topic for today is ethical issues in psychological research. Ethics are the methods of conduct or standards for proper and responsible behavior. They are a set of guidelines that should be followed by psychologists for carrying out research. Ethics in research ensure the safety of participation. Let's first talk about the role of experimenter or a researcher. The researcher must always act in a professional manner. Researcher must always maintain respect for the participants and also make sure that the best interests of the participant and that of society in general are met. Participants also have some rights, and these rights include confidentiality, voluntary participation, withdrawal rights, informed consent and debriefing, and we are going to talk about them. The first one is confidentiality of data source. What we mean by this? Participants in study, they have the right to privacy. So the information should only be used for research purpose and in no circumstance be passed to other interested parties. The most effective way is to use codes and not their identities. And after this, the identification list should be destroyed as soon as the research is over. Next right that the participants have is that of voluntary participation. It means that participants has the choice to participate or not to participate in the study. He has the right to refuse or to take part in any study. They should not be put under pressure or tricked into taking part by deception. Let's now talk about informed consent. Participants must be given information about a study before they agree to take part, and participants who are either too young or intellectually disabled, their guardian must be given information before giving consent on their behalf. Let's talk about withdrawal rights. Participants they have the right to leave a study at any stage regardless of the possible effects on the results. Next is debriefing. Debriefing occurs after completion of the study and participants are told the results and conclusions of the study. Any erroneous belief about the study are corrected, especially if there was any deception involved. Debriefing ensures that the participants leave the study in the same physical and mental state as when they entered, and it should also offer reassurance to the participants. The last one that is very important, and that is sharing of the results of the study. This has two advantages. First is that it fulfills the expectations of the participants, and the second and the most important is that at times participants they tell their opinions and share their feelings about the results. That further helps in developing new insights. So psychological research concerned with human behavior is expected to operate around four principles, and they are respect for person's privacy, choice to participate in the study, beneficence or protecting the participants in the study from any harm, and the last one is justice or sharing the benefits of research with all participants. With this, we complete our chapter 2, that is divided into 10 parts for better understanding. Thank you all.